I will never forget the night Hugo's mother ran into our compound, screaming like she had seen a spirit. Her wrapper was half tied, and her eyes were red like someone had poured pepper into them. "They have killed my daughter," she shouted. "MMA has done it." We all knew this fight was coming. Our village, Umeus, and the neighboring village, Agbola, had been at war for months, but not with cutlasses and guns. No, this war was for the heart of Prince Obinna, the only son of our king. Both Hugo from our village and MMA from Agbola wanted to marry him. But it was not just about love. Whoever married the prince would make her village more powerful. So, the fight was not just between the girls, it was between all of us. At first, it was just gossip and insult. "Hugo is too thin," MMA's people would say. "How will she carry royal children?" Then our people would fire back, "MMA's mother is a witch. She will bring bad luck to the palace." Then the small things started. MMA's goats began dying mysteriously. Hugo's younger brother fell sick and could not walk for weeks. People whispered that charms were buried at night, deep in the soil, to weaken one another. The worst happened during the village festival. The prince was supposed to choose his bride that day. Hugo and MMA sat beside him, wearing their finest beads. The drummers played, and the women danced, but everyone was waiting for the moment. Then Hugo collapsed. People rushed to her, and when they lifted her, her face had turned pale, her lips dry like someone who had been sick for years. A healer ran to check, but before he could say anything, someone in the crowd shouted, "It is MMA. She has used juju." Chaos broke out. People grabbed sticks, stones, anything they could find. MMA's people pulled her away, screaming that they were innocent. Hugo's mother was on the ground, rolling in the dust, cursing MMA's entire lineage. That night, Hugo did not wake up. For weeks, nobody saw the prince. Some said he had fallen sick from shock. Others said he had run away to the city to escape the madness. But one evening, the town crier announced that the prince had made his choice. It was MMA. Our village refused to accept it. "How can the king allow a murderer into his home?" people shouted. But the king said there was no proof. "If we keep fighting, we will only destroy ourselves," he warned. MMA moved into the palace, but she was never truly happy. People feared her, whispered behind her back. They said she carried Hugo's spirit on her shoulders. Even when she had a son, the people never loved her. One day, many years later, an old woman in our village confessed on her deathbed. She said it was Hugo's own aunt who had poisoned her, not MMA. She had been bribed by elders who wanted to start a war between the villages. MMA never got to hear this. She had already left the palace years ago, taking her son with her. The prince had married another woman, and MMA had gone to the city, where she started a business. In the end, she became one of the richest women in the land. But no matter how much money she had, people still whispered about her name. The girl who fought for love and lost everything. And that, my friend, is how Umeus and Agbola learned that some wars are not worth fighting. Because in the end, nobody truly wins.